St. Patrick is of English origin. His real name was Maewyn Succat. At age 16, he was kidnapped by pirates and forced to forced labor as a pastor. After 6 years, he was able to escape and become a Christian priest and finally a bishop. Then he spent 30 years traveling in Ireland. And this is why close ties are established with the country. At the time of his death on March 17, 461, he had established monasteries, churches, and schools. Ireland came to celebrate his day with religious service and parties. It was immigrants, particularly to the United States, which transformed St. Patrick's Day. For example, Boston held its first St. Patrick's Day in 1737, followed by New York City in 1762, and finally in Chicago in 1962.
Of symbols on St. Patrick's Day. The snakes. It is said that St. Patrick expelled the snakes from the country. Alone some historians say that it was the bad weather that took them out. Another legends said that as Christianity preached the so-called snakes were wizards or sorcerers, so the lad had to leave the clover. Although the cells already regaled clover as a sacred plant site, 3 is a mystical number. He used clover to explain the Trinity. His Father, Son, and only Spirit is a one good. Glowings. Having founded the first course and invited the cells to become Christians, having performed several miracles and creating Christianity to take strength. The druids invoked a trump of glowings and set team to churches to make life impossible for the monk and thus how shank fate. They made jokes to the parishioners, preventing them from playing, but St. Patrick faced them and expelled them from the temple.
The holiday originally began as a whole fest, but passing the years it became into something much wilder, green and non-alcoholic. The biggest celebration takes place in Dublin and lasts 5 days. New York, Boston, Chicago and the other cities also dress in green and join the party. How celebrate this day? Since 1962, Chicago has colored its river green to mark the holiday. In the US, people wearing of green as the way to not get pinched, and the Irish actually wear a bunch of shamrocks on their breast. This religious custom is called the blessing of shamrocks. Corned beef and cabbage are associated with the holiday, and even beer is sometimes dyed green to celebrate this day.
Curious facts. The name Patrick is received when he became a priest. The reason why I love of beer it's around the date it's because as it's a festival of religion origins and its celebration coincides with the Lent seasons, that this is why no one drank, but that was the only day they were allowed to do so. Only until 1970 was the consumption of beer allowed on that day, although his death was celebrated many years ago. Originally, the color of St. Patrick was blue, but in 1978 it was changed to green by the Irish Rebellion. Because the green is considered a national symbol of Ireland, the English prohibited the use of chlorine or accessories of these colors and punishing its use with jail.